some ideas to do it.
So, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Miss J to be here, and before I start this video off, today is going to be about my story time. So I wanted to make sure I got on here and I kind of put a disclaimer, which will be inserted in the beginning of the video. And I kind of wanted to, before I start saying anything, let me put my, I'm going to do my makeup in the process, but before I even start saying anything, I want to make it known that this story is based on a real story. This story is based on a real story. However, as I'm telling this story, I do not want this story to be used as what's the word? Like, basically, this story is not about being vengeful, being upset, being angry, or anything about what took place. This is a real event that definitely did happen. However, I will not expose the people that is the real people's name in the story based upon their personal character and everything, and not even personal character. Based upon their character, I will not expose their name. I will not expose, what the person looks like and, what's their name and all this other stuff. I will not do that. I will make up different names to call these people. So let's get into the story. So right now I am using, I just washed my face and my face is super dry. And right now I'm using and I'm going to put that all on my face in the process. So I'll put it here. Here, sorry, I need my camera, but I'm gonna just pat it in my face, and my face is really extra dry because it's winter time. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna put something called Glowish by Huda Beauty. It's called the Blur Jam, and it's silicone free smoothing primer. Before I tell the story, the people names that will be in the story, their fake names will be Katie, Kiana, Natasha, Charlene, and Natalie. So within those people, those are their made up names to protect their identity from being exposed based upon security purposes and anything of that nature or whatever. I'm going to be honest with you. As I'm telling this story is for people who have went on vacations with friends or people that they thought were their friends or they thought that they was cool with, and they got into an altercation while they were away. I was invited to go on a trip with Katie for her birthday in October, and the plan was that me and my friend Katie was supposed to take me, well, not take me, but she planned a trip for her to go on a birthday, vacation with her and all her rest of her friends. And what happened was we ended up, she ended up booking a vacation for us to go to Dominican Republic, Punta Cana. And when we end up going, before we end up going, we had this working for months. So we was already like planning, putting money down on it, for the trip and the whole 9 yards. We was already planning on, getting this thing up and running. However, it becomes a situation where it's getting closer to the trip and everything, and we're so excited. At first, I've never been anywhere outside of the U.S. So my first time actually going to an out of country place outside of the U.S. I was like super happy and everything. So when I went, it was just like, I was really happy that I was able to basically get outside of living in, just being in the U.S. in itself. I don't travel much. I want to start traveling. I haven't had the opportunity to travel like that. So the fact is that I didn't really have the time to, not even time, I I never found somebody to really go with. And then on top of that, like, I be afraid, like, I be afraid of certain things that could go wrong with traveling if you don't know where you're going, you don't know about the culture, you don't know about anything. You have to educate yourself on the rules and regulations based upon that country, because you never been someplace before. You have to tread lightly in any place that you go. And for me, I just wanted to make sure that I was like good and I was straight, because I wanted to make sure that it wasn't, I knew what I was doing. I was going to be with people, but at the same time, it was like, I've never been here before, so I want to make sure like I'm doing the right thing. So anyway, let's get to the story. So basically, Katie invited me out to her birthday vacation with her and the rest of her friends. And what ends up happening is that we end up going on the vacation, but I want to say, I was at work and I got a phone call from Katie, and she was like, listen, she was like, Natalie wants to upgrade my suite to a swim up background, so a swim up pool in the back, in the on the balcony area of like the hotel or whatever, and she wants to update our the suite or whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool. And she's like, so I'm gonna have to change your room, and you're gonna be in a room with Natasha. So I'm like, the girl name is Natasha. So I'm like, okay. So she's like, so basically you're telling me that I'm gonna end up going in a room with somebody else when we agreed that me and you was going to be in a room together? And she was like, yeah, well, Natalie decided that she wanted to upgrade my suite for my birthday, and she was paying for it, so she's going to be in the room and you're going to be in the room with Natasha. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, why can't I be in a room with Kiana or Charlene or somebody? So she's like, everybody decided that you would be a great fit to be in a room with Natasha. So I'm like, Katie, I'm really depending on you to like make sure that nothing bad happens or nothing goes wrong in this situation. And, I hope this works out or whatever. Like, I don't know the girl or whatever case may be. So I'm a little on edge based upon you telling me this 2 days before we actually fly out for the trip to DR. So I'm at work and we over here conversating. I'm like, what if she steals from me? What if we don't get along? What if something happens? This, that, and the third. Like, why can't I be in a room with Kiana or Charlene or somebody? People that I've met before. People that we went places before and it ain't ever been an issue. Like, why you got to put me in a room and we're far away from my hometown or where we from and put me in a room with somebody I don't know? So she's like, well, based upon other people, they think that you guys' attitude will, definitely click. You guys will hit it off perfectly. So I'm like, all right, I'm trusting you. I'm trusting the fact that everything is going to work itself out. Like, everything is going to be all good. And she's like, yeah, you guys will be fine. Like, she's mad cool. I've known her for years, whatever, whatever. So I'm like, all right, cool. Whatever. I'm trusting your word. So now it gets to a situation where we're there and everybody on the flew with JetBlue. Now, my money was funny, and I didn't have the money to actually get on price that everybody caught their airfare for. And I booked with American Airlines. And I flew with American Airlines plenty of times, so I never really had a problem using them. It's just whatever was works and feasible for my money. So, my flight was leaving early in the morning. So I basically left like 2-3 hours before they was leaving. So I got to DR early and they were still in the air, or they were still waiting to like load aboard the plane to get down there. Now, according to where we're from and where DR is, it's about 3 to 4 hours to get from where we're at to DR. So I'm like, all right, cool, no problem or whatever. And when we get there, we find out that when I get there, like as soon as I get off, I go through immigration, I get my stamp and everything. As soon as we get there, I find out that matter of fact, I get there, it's like, mind you, in October it's cold. So it's like, bro, it's freezing out here. Like, what is going on? I'm dying. Like, not literally, but it's mad cold or whatever case may be, and it's, you know, it's uncomfortable. So when we get to DR, it's damn near 90 degrees out there, and I'm like what the hell? So so what ends up happening is we get there, and when we get there, how was that? So when we get there, we end up what's the word? When matter of fact, excuse me, when I get there, I'll say that. When I get there, it goes into a situation where I'm sitting there, I'm at the bar, I'm waiting for everybody to come, and ain't nobody show up. So I'm just like, you know, I really don't know what the problem is. I don't know what's going on. Like, this is kind of weird for me, or whatever case may be. And it goes into a situation where I'm waiting for them for like 4 hours. Mind you, I'm right in a group chat. I'm in a country I've never been in. I'm uncomfortable. Like, it's a lot going on. They barely speak English or whatever, so it's kind of like uncomfortable. Everyone's talking to me, and I'm kind of like, But I met a couple people that wasn't from DR that flew on the flight, and they were sitting next to me, and I hit it off with some girl that I met or whatever. If you're seeing this, shout out to you, boo, for keeping me company when I was at the bar or whatever. But when I went, this story is about a year and a half going on 2 years old. So this story is not the support, the love, and to bring awareness to the situation that happened to Shanelica Robinson, where she was killed in, I believe it was Mexico. She went with the girls, and she was killed being there, out there. While I'm telling the story, I want it to be known that I give my deepest sympathy and empathy for the family that is suffering from a loss from their daughter and that child that she has or whatever. It's my greatest sympathy and empathy to give to you guys, and my condolences to the situation. And the reason why I'm telling this story is because I could have been that girl. And that story resonated with me a lot, drastically, because of the situation that was happening when it went down. So for me, I look at it like, stories like this should be told more than you know, because a lot of girls don't realize when you're going out with certain people and friends, you your own person, you your own army, you watch your own back. Don't nobody got your best interest than you. And no matter what happens, you are responsible for yourself. So don't ever feel like when you go someplace that, yeah, my girlfriend's gonna look after me, because guess what? They all out for themselves. They out for self. They not out for nobody but themselves. And you'd be surprised how people really maneuver, how people act when they are on vacation. Because they act one way when you in the city, in the town, in the hometown that y'all from, but they act a whole nother way when it comes down to going other places, especially when you're going on trips with people you don't know. Now, me, I knew Katie, and I've been places with Katie. I've never went out of country with Katie, but I've been places with her. So for me, it was like, I didn't think it was going to be no nonsense or no drama or anything of that nature. But it wasn't Katie that was the problem. It was Natasha, which is her friend, that was the problem. So getting back into the story, let's move on. So I end up getting there. We sitting down, and I'm sitting down, and I'm calling them, and I'm like, calling their phone. I'm writing a group chat. I'm like, yo, where they at? Writing everybody, like, what's going on? It was Katie, Kiana, Natasha, Charlene, and Natalie, and Stuart. It was a guy on a trip as well, or whatever. And they were all friends, and they went on a trip, including myself. And everybody knew each other. Everybody been friends with each other longer than me. And I feel like I was the only outcast. And not even I feel like, I was the only outcast that didn't know everybody like that. I knew all of the girls except for that one girl, Natasha. However, let me keep putting my makeup on while I'm telling the story. So basically, within this situation, I was tight because I felt like, you know, I'm out here. I don't know nobody. No one's answering the phone. It's a whole big thing. And by the time I get there, I'm a little annoyed with the situation because I've been calling them, and I come to find out that they on the other side of a different terminal. So I'm at Terminal A. They're on Terminal B. And I guess because they landed with a different airline, that they was in a different terminal. So we all paid for transport from the airport to the resort that we were going to. So when we went, when I was already sitting at Terminal A at the bar area where I came out, and I was standing there for like the longest. But when the time came for when they had to get picked up, the terminal was based upon where everybody was getting, majority of everybody was getting picked up at. So when I found, they was trying to locate me and find me, and I was trying to locate and find them. By the time we caught up to each other, it was, after checkout or check-in time, I think, or we were just probably getting right on time to check in at 3 o'clock at the resort. So I'm sitting there, I'm calling Katie. We end up getting in contact with each other. We spoke on the phone. When we spoke on the phone, the transporter guy, he ends up driving around to Terminal B or Terminal A where I was at, and then they picked me up, and everybody's in the car, everyone's laughing, everyone's having a good time, and it becomes a situation where I'm annoyed because I've been waiting on y'all for 3 hours. I ain't eat. I'm tired. We went from 40-degree weather to 90-degree weather in a matter of 3 hours. So it's a lot going on. I'm freezing cold. I'm freezing. I'm not freezing. I'm hot. And I'm just a little flustered, and I'm tired. I'm bothered. We just finished getting off a flight and a plane, and everyone's turned up for the occasion. And I ain't gonna lie, my behavior or my energy when I arrived was a little down because, I was just flustered and tired. I didn't want it to be, sex trafficking is real. People robbing people is real. People kidnapping people is real. And you go into a country you never been in. So my guard is all the way up. No matter what. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I was kind of like, damn. I'm a little afraid. Like, I don't know what I should do. And I'm just trying to play it cool in the situation that was happening at hand. It ends up going into a situation where we get there, my behavior is a little bit off, whatever. Now, as soon as we get there, everyone's excited. I warm up to the whole situation. We finally arrive at the resort in Punta Cana, and when we get there, we all sitting there. We are, the bellhop and the guest services, the people, they end up coming to pick up our bags so they could set them up so they could roll them all to our room and everything. And then we're all sitting down. They give us complimentary arrival drinks when we get there, and everything is good. Now the girl, her name is Natasha. She ends up like being like, oh yes, I can't wait to get a drink, this, down, and third. So I'm just like, all right, I'm cool. I'm chilling. Like, it ain't, it's nothing. We all excited, whatever. So now it goes into a situation where we sitting there, and as we sitting there, she's like, yes, I can't wait to get a drink, blah, blah, blah. And then I said to her, I was like, I was already aware that me and her was going to be in the room together because Katie told me. But, when we got there, we was drinking and everything. The drinks was super duper good. I don't remember exactly what kind of drink it was that we had, but it was complimentary and it was good. And when we got there, I asked, I was like, I know we're going to be rooming together, and I wanted to know are you the type that like gets like super duper drunk, like you start passing out and stuff like that? And she was like, oh no honey, I'm good, like I don't, you know, I'm a fucking adult, like I don't need your help, like this, that, and the third. And I was just like, oh, okay, okay, I understand, you know. But I feel like in my mind, I felt like already starting out the gate, it felt like, I think she felt like I was trying to offend her, and I wasn't honestly trying to offend her. I literally just wanted to ask the question just because I was like, sis, I don't know you at the end of the day. And for me, if we about to be rooming together, I want to make sure you're not the type that be falling the fuck out and that you be like, you know, you unconscious and that you be drunk and you like to party and do the most and lift your shirt up in public and wild out and act like you ain't got no class about yourself. Because if we're going to be rooming together, if something happened to you, at the end of the day, like, to be honest with you, we're all responsible for the person, but I'm more so responsible because I'm in the room with her. And I don't want to be accused of something that I didn't do, I had nothing to do with, or anything of that nature. So I asked her for security purposes, like, do you be drinking and you be falling out and blacking out? Because if that's the case, then Katie need to switch you with somebody else, because I don't want to be in that type of environment or room. So fast forward, we get to the part where the guest services are starting to, like, check-in area is starting to call our names and give us access for our birthdays and information for us to get our keys established and connected to our rooms. So now we sitting there and we like, you know, I'm telling her like, listen, I need a lotion. I'm telling her like, you know, I just wanted to make sure. And she was like, I'm not a fucking child. Like I have a 3-year-old kid, blah, 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 blah. Like I can hold my liquor. So I'm like, all right, shorty, like I don't got no problem. Like I just wanted to ask the question to make sure. I hope she didn't feel like I was trying to disrespect her or embarrass her or anything of that nature. But the way she came off already with the smoke, I wasn't even feeling it. Like, wait a minute. You don't know me like that. You know what I'm saying? You coming out the gate, and if you think I'm trying to offend you, like, listen to what I have to say before you just jump down, you know, jump on me and be on some, you know, get crazy and just be saying things that's just, like, honestly not even freaking necessary. So we sitting there, and I'm like, okay, mind you, in my head, you know that I ain't sit real with me. So I'm just like, all right, let me ignore her. Let me sip my drink and let me just, you know, be quiet for a second, like, you know. So we all get, you know, assigned our rooms. We all go to our rooms and we unpacking. And, you know, she's like excited. She's on the phone with her boyfriend. And, you know, I'm talking to her and, you know, we just trying to get acquainted. And I revisited the conversation with her and I told her, like, listen, with all due respect, like, I just wanted to let you know I wasn't trying to disrespect you. I wasn't trying to offend you. I want you to know that I just want to, I want to look out for you, because if we're going to be roommates, I want to make sure that you're okay. And we, you know, we squashed it. Everything worked itself out and everything calmed down throughout the trip. Now, I'm not going to talk about the whole entire trip and what happened, but let's just say the girl kept snipping and snapping every now and then to me. And she was just being very rude throughout the whole entire trip. And for me personally, like, you ain't going to say what you want. Being disrespectful out your mouth, not happening. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't play when it comes down to my, you know, disrespect. And I feel like if I'm not being disrespectful to you, you shouldn't be disrespectful to me. So if that's how you want to move, then whatever comes along with this situation, it is what it is. So now we sitting there and the girl, so there's a moment in time throughout the trip that the girl, she's on the phone with her boyfriend and her boyfriend's arguing with her, being very rude during the whole entire trip. She wants to keep the light on. She wants to be on the phone with him, pillow talking with him all throughout the night. Like, girl, like, I paid the money to be in his room just like you did. And the simple fact of the matter is, like, you're being rude and disrespectful, and I don't like that. Like, personally, I'm not with none of it. You know what I'm saying? And I was very annoyed. So I told her, like, Natasha, you gonna turn these damn lights out. I don't know what you think this is, but you gonna turn these motherfucking lights out, bitch, because I paid money to be on this trip just like you did. And for me, I'm not looking to be on no trip with anyone and you're being disrespectful, inconsiderate, and you clearly don't give a damn about anybody who's in the room with you. So with that being said, period. So fast forward, it gets to the point where it's nighttime, and you know, I end up explaining to the girls, like, as I'm on the trip, I felt like I was trying to bond with every last one of the girls. And because everybody knew each other, it was like, they didn't really care to fuck with me. They didn't really care to bond with me. And my thing is, it's like, listen, GOOD, I'm good. Like, at the end of the day, we here for Katie. Let's go along and get along. You may not like my vibe, and bitch, I don't like your vibe. But at the end of the day, we here celebrating a mutual friend's birthday, and we out in DR. Let's just make the best of it. And I felt like I was trying to bond with everybody. And according to them, they felt differently. They felt like I was the one with the issue. I was the one with the problem. And I felt like that's not even the case, not even close. And when I tried to speak to them, when I tried to talk to Charlene was cool. Charlene was Katie's cousin. But, and Kiana is Katie's other best friend, but I was cool with her too. And I met her, and they, mind you, they look exactly alike. And Kiana and Charlene, they both were cool. But Natalie and Natasha wasn't feeling whatsoever. I felt like they were just, you know, moving real rocky. And I just was like, I just keep my distance. Like, if y'all gonna be laughing about and snipping and giggling, and I'm over here like, like, what's the joke? And you over here turning your nose up and you acting like you don't want to speak to me, you don't fuck with me, or you want to keep your distance from me, then good, bitch. You're not doing me no motherfucking favors. I want that to be understood. So anyway, moving on. We sitting there, and sorry, and I'm just like, okay, well, let me just finish. I want to finish the story. So I'm trying to get through the story. This shit is for some reason mad hard. So we end up, I felt like nobody wanted to fuck with me throughout the whole entire trip. And I end up telling the girl Natasha, and like when we were getting along at the time, I told her, like, I felt like, you know, people don't really care to be around me or care to fuck with me. And I'm just kind of like, you know, why? Like, I'm cool as fuck. You don't even know me. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand why, you know, you guys wouldn't want to get to know me, or you guys wouldn't want to be friends with me. But if that's how y'all moving, then cool. No issue. It's no problem. I'm just not interested or fit for any drama that could arise this direction. And I told the girls, like, I feel like, you know, they don't really like me. I told Natasha, I feel like they don't really like me. And so happily, Natasha ran back and told all of the girls that I had a problem with them and that I didn't like them, and was fabricating a story that wasn't true, and caused the rest of the trip to be a fucking disaster. Fast forward, the day of Katie's birthday, we go on an adventure, and we end up going to some little tycoon area in, like, the wild, or whatever case may be. That was like basically like an excursion, and we end up going, and that was cool. And when we got back from the excursion, everybody agreed that we was all gonna go and eat. And when we was gonna go and eat, you know, we all, first off, in the morning, that morning of Katie's birthday, everybody got up super late. Not me and another friend, but another person, but I end up going to get breakfast super early, and it was time for us to get on the go and go to our excursion. And most of the people that was on the trip, they didn't even get a chance to really fully get food. They had to kind of grab and go in order for us to make it on time to go to our excursion for the second to last day before we had to fly out. So it becomes a situation where, you know, we get back from the excursion. We get back from the excursion, and it becomes a situation where, you know, everyone's like, oh, let's go eat, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, I thought we ate this morning. So Natasha's like, Are you not hungry? So I'm like, you know what? I'm not even gonna say nothing because the way I'm feeling right now, and I don't fucking like your attitude throughout the whole damn trip. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting ready to curse you out. I'm gonna ruin this motherfucking birthday. Okay? So we sitting there, and I just felt like the vibe was even more off throughout the trip because I felt like the girls were being more distant. I felt like they were being more funny. I felt like nobody really cared to be around me, and everybody wanted to have their own placements on the bus. Charlene was sitting with Kiana, Natasha was sitting with Natalie, and Katie was sitting with Stewart, and me, my ass is sitting by my motherfucking self on the bus, and it was just like, whatever type of timing y'all niggas is on, I'm good off this one. Because I'm not with none of the shits, bro. Like, I'm not. Like, I don't get it. So, we sitting there, and I just felt like people were just being super funny throughout the whole entire trip. Like I keep saying. So, we end up deciding that we were going to go back, go freshen up, go take a shower, wipe the salt off. But, let me back up. When we got back from the excursion, everybody's decision was to go directly to the poolside to go get food right away. Not even go wash your ass, get the salt out your ass, get the sand out your ass and your ears and anything of that nature. Go back upstairs and freshen up and then go downstairs and go get something to eat. No, they wanted to go directly to the poolside and go get something to eat by the buffet. And I was like, I'm gonna go to my room and I'm gonna go wash this salt and sand on my ass from being in this nasty pissy ass water that got all type of stuff in it. You kidding? So it becomes a situation where I go back to the room, and as I'm going back to the room, I get a text message from the group chat that says, "Don't let her back in the room." What? So I'm reading that message and I'm feeling like, are they talking about me? So I'm instantly already tight. I'll go upstairs, I take a shower. I'm basically trying to reflect on, the whole situation. Like, did I do something wrong? Is it my fault? What did I do? Like, whatever the situation is. And, I realized, like, I didn't really do nothing wrong besides try to get along with these people. So what is there really to try to work on and fix with anybody when I feel like they were all being snotty to me? And according to Katie, when I spoke to Katie, that Natasha said something to Katie and the rest of the girls about what I told her in a confidentiality. And I should have knew, being that I already felt like Shorty was acting real weird and real funny when I was talking to her when I first met her in the beginning when we started vibing throughout the trip, that she can't be trusted and that she would be somebody that was full of shit. So it becomes a situation where we sit in there and I go upstairs, I go take a shower, and everybody apparently is downstairs, and I'm assuming they're eating or they're downstairs meeting up or they're all in their own room, and that's not even the case. So I go upstairs, take a shower, get settled, and I get a text message, another text message that's like, "Hey Josh, are you coming down?" Mind you, nobody texted me, not even Katie, the birthday girl, and was like, "Hey Jada, are you coming downstairs to come get something to eat? If so, we're gonna save a seat for you," and everything. Nobody said nothing. I didn't even know that they went downstairs already to go sit down and eat as collectively as a group. So something told me go downstairs and go by the buffet to see if they over there. So as soon as I pull up over there, I ain't even tell them that I was even coming. I pull up to the buffet near the pool or whatever, and they sitting there, and I pull up and I'm like, "What's good?" Katie looks up and she's like, "Oh, nothing. We're just talking about my trip from Mexico." My "what's good" is a hello. My "what's good" is not a "what y'all talking about." It's more so like, "What up?" So it becomes a situation where as we sitting there, I'm like, I already felt like it was some funny movement, and I already felt like they were talking about me when I got there. That could have been true, that may not have been true, but that's how I felt when I arrived there. So I'm standing there and I'm looking around, I'm looking at everybody play, everybody eating. Mind you, there's not a chair in sight for me to sit. So now I'm like, y'all went and had lunch and dinner or lunch without me. That's strike one. I already felt some type of way because y'all ain't saved me a seat, nor did y'all let me know that y'all was going to be at the poolside. Number two, I'm looking around at everybody's lunch and they table and they food and shit, and I'm like, there's no chair for me. So they're like, oh yeah, you could just go get a chair or whatever case may be. We didn't think you were coming. Well, you should have asked, to be honest. But anyway, so I look down at Natasha and she's like, she looks up at me. She's like, you got a problem? Bruh, instantly I thought in my mind, I'm about to knock this bitch out. Like, I'm like 2 seconds away from knocking this bitch out. Because first off, what? Like, are you fucking dumb? Like, I'm sorry. I don't mean to curse and disclaimer with me going off or whatever. But I was mad as ever. I'm trying to keep this story as clean as possible. But it's very hard because that story bothered me. And I'm telling this story because it could have been me against... It was me against them. But it could have been something that could have been totally different than how it went down, to be honest with you. All over a misunderstanding and over somebody. I feel like I was jealous, envy, and I was being super snotty throughout the whole entire trip. And for Katie to think that for someone else to make a decision based upon my personality and somebody else's personality and assume that me and this person is going to get along is beyond me. Like, so it becomes a situation where we sitting there and I look her down in her face and I'm like, anyway, because I'm about to slap her in a second and it's getting on my fucking nerves. So I'm about to just exit stage left in a second. And I told them, I was like, let me go get my food. So I walk off and I walk off. As soon as I walk off, I go get my food. I'll come back. I sit right next to the girl, like right there in her face, like, yeah. And I'm eating my food all on her face. So she's like, so now they sitting there. Apparently, I guess they feel uncomfortable. And they all literally was like, well, I'm tired. I'm about to get up and we're going to go freshen up and everything. And now everyone's getting up from the table and walking away, including Katie, which is supposed to be my friend, just like she's everybody else's friend. But she get up with the group and leave me at the table by my fucking self. Bruh, I was tight. So I was like, as soon as I finished my food, I called my cousin. Yo, shout out to Face Dom Quay or whatever. I'm going to tag her in this video as well. Shout out to her because I love my cousin to death, yo. Because on some real, if it wasn't for her, like, I probably would have just sat there and just dealt with this shit. But I'm really glad I listened to her and I decided to, like, go and talk to somebody about the situation, because had I not talked to somebody about the situation, I would have came back upset and angry. Like, I really wasted $800-900 to go on a trip to DR for this bullshit. Like, is it really worth it, to be honest with you? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I told her what happened. She was fucking tight. I wish I had my camera at the time, because, like, if y'all seen the bullshit that was taking place, you would have been like, bro, what? That's corny. And I told my cousin, and I asked her, like, you know, should I address the situation or should I just let it be? Should I address the situation or should I just let it be? And according to my cousin, she was like, nah. She was like, you should address that shit, but you should also tell Katie, like, you should tell her, like, away from all her friends and go talk to her and let her know, like, listen, like, you feel some type of way about the situation and that you wanted to talk to her about it. But you give her a disclaimer and ask her, do you want to talk about it when we get back to our hometown, or do you want to talk about it right now? And she was like, so I decided to, like, find the guts, because I didn't want to ruin her birthday. Like, respectfully, I really didn't want to ruin her birthday, because that really was my good friend. And now to this day, me and this girl don't even speak to this day. And this shit, it sucks. It really is an uncomfortable situation. So, what ends up happening is, as soon as I left or whatever, I'm sitting around, I get back to my room. Mind you, the girl Natasha, she not even there anymore. She went to their room to go kick it with them. And I'm in the room, I'm steaming, hot, mad, pissed. So I'm like, did these bitches just leave me at the table by myself? Yo, I was tight. So I was sitting there, I was just like, all right, cool. So I'm walking back and forth. I'm on the phone talking to my cousin. We talking mad shit or whatever. And then next thing you know, my cousin's like, nah, go text her and ask her, can she come into your room? So I text Katie. I'm like, hey, do you mind if you come into the room? I want to talk to you in private. So we get up in this room or whatever. She come upstairs and she's like, hey, what's up? So I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, bitch, don't play dumb with me. Don't act like, hey, what's up? Like, you don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, you know exactly what's going on. And I get it. It's your birthday. So you're not trying to let nobody ruin your birthday or anything of that nature. But you got to sense the energy that's in the room. And if you don't, then, you know, it is what it is. But this is why I'm here now explaining the story. Because I was really fucking tight that we even could get here at this point. So we sitting there. And I ended up, you know, I ended up asking her, like, you know, I want to talk to you about something. And I don't know if this is the right time to tell you because I understand that today's your birthday and everything. And I don't want what I'm telling you to ruin your birthday. But I want to address a problem and a situation with you. And I want to know, would you like to talk about it when we get back? Or would you like to talk about it right now? So she was like, no, it's okay. She pulled up her pants. She's like, we can talk. As I'm talking to her about the situation, and I begin to talk to her, the girl Natasha walks in the room. So I'm sitting there like, okay. So you know what? This is what you want to do? Katie, can I talk to you outside in private? So we go outside the room, outside the suite or whatever, and we go talk on a balcony. So we go further down, we go talking on a balcony, and as soon as we go talking on the balcony and we talking, I think I hear the girl opening up the door to listen to the conversation. And as she's listening to the conversation, she must have knew that we were talking about her, because as soon as we got done getting on the same page and getting a mutual understanding, and you know, Katie explained both sides of the story in the party, and come to find out that Natasha told everybody that I had an issue with them. So the proof is in the pudding from Katie's mouth that she told them that I said that I have a problem with them. And it's like, why the fuck would I come on a trip away from my hometown to have a problem with people that I barely even know, that we barely was speaking anyway? Like I was just saying the beginning of the damn film. Like what? So we kiss, we make up or whatever, not literally, but we end up making up and calling the truce and everything and hugging it out. And we end up going back to the room. As soon as we go back to the room, I kid you not, that girl, Natasha, she took all her stuff. Girl, the damn hangers was still hanging off the damn wall, off the damn closet, hanging like this. Or whatever, back and forth. And I'm like, we come back in the room, we like, did she just take her stuff? So, Katie's like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, she's gonna sleep in my room tonight. So I'm like, okay, whatever floats your boat, because in a minute I'm gonna punch you all in her fucking head. So, which, as a disclaimer, I don't condone violence, but in this situation, shorty was gonna get that ass whooped, period. So we sitting there and she's like, okay, well, everything is all good. So now Natasha comes back and she come back in the room and I'm like, yo, Natasha, you good? And she's like, she's on the phone. She's like, yeah. I'm just not going to do this weird shit. I'm just not going to do this weird shit. So I'm like, weird shit? Fuck you talking about weird shit? Like, what weird shit are you talking about? Because as far as I'm concerned, I was talking to Katie. I wasn't talking to you. And as far as I'm concerned, bitch, you on my shit list. So you might not want to fuck with me the way I feel right now. Work. So now we sitting there and it goes into a situation where she bounces. Like she gets out the room. So now Katie's like, damn, let me go see what's wrong. So I'm on the phone. So when they go figure it out, I'm on the phone talking to my cousin. I told my cousin what the situation was and how we hashed it out and we worked it out and everything was all good. But now apparently Natasha overhears and ear hustling outside of the door when me and Katie was outside talking on the balcony, and she overhears Katie tell me the truth about what Natasha said about me, that she said to the other girls about how I had a problem with them, and I didn't have a problem. Never had an issue. So she must have ran and got scared and left and took all her shit and moved downstairs to Katie and Natalie's room so that tomorrow they could fly out. So I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, good, G-double-O-D, bitch. Because nobody want to be listening to you on the phone arguing with your boyfriend and everything of that nature. Like, that's corny, like, you know. So it goes into a situation where, I keep saying that. So the next, Katie texts me, and Katie's like, hey, do you mind if you come downstairs or whatever? So I got my robe on. I got my sneakers on. And I'm like on the phone with my cousin. So I'm like, I come downstairs because I know whatever's about to go down in this situation, I'm ready for whatever's about to go down. So we get downstairs and Natasha's unpacking her stuff out the bag. And I walk in and I sit down, and Katie tells the rest of the girls, she's like, I want to call for a meeting because I want everybody to be on the same page and I want everybody to get along. It's my birthday. We out here supposed to be celebrating my birthday. Yada, yada, yada. So I'm low-key nervous because I'm like, you know, I don't want to disrespect nobody. I don't want to offend nobody except for Natasha or whatever, because bitch, you on my shit list after I found out from Katie what took place and what transpired. But all in at the same breath, it's like, you know, I don't want to offend the other girls because I really didn't have a problem with them. So I spoke to them and I was like, you know, with all that's going on, I wanted to speak to everybody, and I understand that today's Katie's birthday and I'm not here to ruin her birthday. I want that to be the first thing understood, but I just want to be on the same page with everybody because I feel like this whole time that I've been on this trip that it's been a little bit funny movement since I've been here, and I've been trying to get along and bond with everybody, but it seems like everybody's keeping a distance. Nobody seems to want to be around me, or nobody wants to fuck with me. So everybody's sitting around on the bed like, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. Like, I don't got no issue with you. Everybody that was sitting down was like, they don't got a problem. Charlene, which is Katie's cousin, finally come down and she's like, what y'all talking about? What y'all talking about? What happened? What's going on? What happened? So I'm like, what happened? What you mean what happened? Like, sit down, take a seat, shut up. The fuck? That's what happened. So I'm talking, telling the story, and I'm not telling the story. I'm sitting there explaining to them like what the situation is and what the problem is, and I asked everybody individually, Nikiana, do you have a problem? Charlene, do you have a problem? Natalie, do you have a problem? Any one of y'all? Anyone? Anyone? Nobody? Cool. Nobody, everybody said they don't have a problem. The only one that said they had a problem was Natasha. So she's like, yeah, because I don't understand, like, you over here trying to ruin her birthday. What? I just said I'm not here to ruin nobody's birthday. And according to Charlene, she's like, yeah, but I feel like you are. Now they trying to jump on a bandwagon. Charlene trying to jump on Natasha's bandwagon. She's like, oh, I feel like you're trying to cause a problem. I feel like you're trying to ruin my cousin's birthday. Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, again, I just said I wasn't trying to ruin nothing. Because to be honest with you, Natasha asked me to come downstairs. It's not like I came downstairs on my own. She invited me to come downstairs to speak. I was going to keep my motherfucking distance because, to be honest with you, y'all bitches was already acting funny. I didn't even want to be around that anyway after y'all left me at the fucking table on some foul shit. So now it gets into a situation where me and Natasha get into an argument. She getting loud and she's sitting down, and I'm like, lower your tone. Lower your voice. Watch your mouth. She's still going, no, bitch, fuck you. As soon as she said fuck you, it went left. So I'm like, I ain't gonna be too, I got up, I was like, I ain't gonna be too many of one of these, you know, bitches around here. You understand? Like, I'm not with none of the shit. You bugging. You tripping, mama. You tripping. If you think for 2 seconds I'm about to sit here and allow you to be disrespectful and think you're going to try to disrespect one, embarrass me too, and over loud talk me when this not even your fight. But apparently you're the one with the fucking problem. And if you don't like me based upon what happened in the beginning when I first met you, then so fucking be it. It is what it is. I don't owe you shit. So anyway, it goes into, after that, we arguing, and I'm over here like, I ain't gonna beat to one of these bitches up in here, because I gladly will beat your little ass the fuck up. I want you to know that. It's never a problem. And apparently it was. It was a big problem. So now me and the girl about to fight. So now all the girls jump up. They're like, hold on. Because you don't want to let, so Kiana's like, you don't want to let me get mad this time. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, bitch, I don't give a fuck, get mad. Because at this point, I don't give a fuck. Any one of y'all could get it. If y'all think y'all gonna charge at me, y'all think y'all gonna be loud mouthing me, disrespecting me, talking crazy to me, I don't give a fuck about none of that. I hold my motherfucking own. Don't ever get it confused. Period. So now we sit there, and it becomes a situation where we sitting there and, you know, they trying to break it up or whatever, and it's just so much going on. It's very chaotic, and everything is trying to get better, but it also turned into a situation where me and the girl end up never speaking ever again, and we end up getting into a gigantic fight and beef, and we didn't physically fight, but we did have a couple words that was exchanged that was getting ready to get physical had the rest of the girls not jumped in through between me and Natasha. And then after that, like, you know, I was very upset. So I left out the room. I went upstairs. I started packing my shit. And, you know, Katie ended up coming back up to my room to talk to me about the situation. And she ends up breaking down and starts crying. And I felt so bad for even bringing it to her. And I felt like at the time I should have just waited till we got back to waited till we got back to our hometown to then talk to her, then to address it right then and there. But I couldn't hold that shit in anymore, because I feel like I didn't come this far for me to have a bad time and be on a trip that was going to make me miserable and make me unhappy because her friends are being super funny and being disrespectful. So if I'm not having a good time, guess what? Nobody's going to have a good time. Simple as that. I didn't come out here this far for me to be disrespected at all. Period. So, you know, me and Katie, we end up, like, you know, breaking bread and being cool and, you know, making up and everything. And I cried. I broke down and started crying. I apologized to her. And I told her, with that being said, I don't want to be at a table full of snakes and a table full of people that's full of shit and that genuinely don't like me and that is setting the tone for me and them to not have a good relationship. So with that being said, Alright, hey guys, so I wanted to get back on here because my camera ended up dying and I wanted to finish shooting this film for you guys. So basically, towards the ending of the story, I ended up just, basically towards the ending of the story, I told Katie that I wasn't going to be able to make it, and she begged me to go, and she was like, I really want you to be there, this, that, and the third, and I was like, alright, if it wasn't for you or somebody else, I probably wouldn't have made it. But because you're asking me, and she begged me to show up, I end up going. Listen, I got there late as hell, and I left early as hell. And I was there. I took my little pictures with her, and then after that, I bounced and got my ass back to my room. And I was so upset because the emotions were still running high that day. I was just ready to go. Like, I couldn't deal with the headache, and I couldn't deal with the bullshit from that situation. I was like way too tight to even be able to be bothered with that situation in itself. So once I left or whatever, I said my final goodbyes. I said goodnight to everybody or whatever. Like, I was so pissed. I was ready to be like to Natasha, bitch, I hope you choke on your dinner. The fuck? I was fucking mad. Like, can't no one tell me my ass was not mad. Yo, I was so tight, but I was trying to be mature, and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to just go and leave or whatever case may be. And I went back to my room and I got ready to finish packing the rest of my stuff before it was time for me to head back to my hometown. And I ended up just leaving and going home. You know, like, the next morning I woke up, I was on the phone with my friend, I went to go get breakfast, and guess what? That same day, they were still acting funny. That's like, still, like, it's so ironic. They end up going to breakfast and everything of that nature. And I end up seeing them, and they was like, oh, we didn't know you were coming down, this, down, the third. Like, it's just so much I could say about that situation, but I'm going to just leave it off the table, honestly. But they try to act like they didn't know that I was coming down for breakfast and everything of that nature. I went and got my breakfast and sat by myself and ate my Dominican food. My breakfast, and I kept it moving. I ended up leaving. I went back, packed the rest of my stuff, and it was time for me to leave. Katie sent me my instructions for me to get on my transport to get back to the airport. Got to got back to the airport. I end up going straight, got through, you know, immigration and security and everything of that nature, got my ass back home, and after that I ain't never speak to the people ever since then. So basically the moral of the story is, don't go on vacation with people that you don't know. Don't allow nobody to make a decision for you based upon an assumption about what they think about your character and how you may, or they assume that you may get along with somebody. Don't do that. That never works out. Don't go on vacation thirdly, if you don't have any money like that. And then another thing too, like, if you feel like you're not gonna have a good time, just save yourself the headache and save yourself a trip. Because ever since that situation, me and Katie do not speak. I don't speak to none of her friends. She got one friend that follows me on social media, that still watches me on social media, and it's like, I don't got a problem with her, but it's like, you're not my friend. So it's like, why do you care to watch what I'm doing? Me and your friend ain't gonna ever be friends again, so it's like, you don't need to watch me at all. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. Like, it is what it is. Like, you know, I just let bygones be bygones, and I keep it moving. So, you know, I hope you guys enjoy my story time. Thank you guys for watching and listening. And if you like the video and you want to see more or whatever, I can click the red link down below. That's one. And then two, make sure you comment and share and subscribe to my channel. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and talk to you guys soon. Bye.